All right, let's talk day 2 base expansion. So day 2 base expansion is one of the hardest days to make your points. It's not impossible, but it's one of the hardest because it requires that you pre-plan. There's not really any way to get 7.2 without having a plan that starts a week before. Now, there are some easy points. There's the UR truck and the UR secret tasks. So UR truck, you're going to get more points if you have your intercity truck +1 here, extra truck maxed out, so that you can have 5 trucks instead of 4. You run them at UR, you get more points. Legendary secret tasks. What you want to do is you select mega refresh all of them to gold, and send them out. If you run them at anything other than UR, then you're going to miss out on points. Okay. You can also save your star task. You could just not run it if it's not on this particular day. And don't run it, save it, and you can save it up to 3 days. Okay. It could just be on your list. And if you just don't run it, it won't go away. You can just save it to run it on the day that it actually helps you. So those are going to be the easy points that happen on base expansion. You also have your survivor tickets. Those you get from running like Doom Elites. You can buy them in the Alliance store as well, but it's never going to be quite enough. You have to run a lot of tickets. And if you're not running Doom Elites and you're not hitting up all the zombies, you might not have enough. So very important, make sure that when you are looking at your stamina, it's not hitting 120. You are running after zombies so that they do give you a survivor ticket drop, and you can have build up those tickets to use them on this day. Okay, so that's going to be another one that's going to be really helpful for you. But there's not necessarily going to be like, a guaranteed number that you'll have. So it's something that you can't rely on to make your points. You need to have a strategy for your buildings. So what can we do for buildings? So the very first thing is make sure our settings are right. Okay. If I go to my settings and I go to general settings here, I'm going to make sure that I have that construction confirmation enabled. That's going to make sure that if I click on a building, it immediately gives me a pop-up and goes, are you sure you want to complete this? And then I go, no, I do not want to complete this unless I'm on this day. So I want to make sure that I have that particular one enabled. Next thing is, as I go through the week, I am consistently upgrading something. I have 4 workers, so obviously I've purchased these. You don't have to, but that's just going to be that you're going to have to really be on it, right? You're going to have to put on a timer. You might have to use speed ups through the week just to make sure you have enough construction buildings that you can pop on the day of. If you wait until the day of, you're going to be using a whole lot more speed ups, and you're going to not have enough to get your full points. So you want to be building through the week. You're going to make sure that you have, that you're getting your RSS from hitting of farms, from gathering, from hitting your zombies, so that you can reinvest it in buildings. And I know that, like, some buildings, they don't seem to have a point, but you want to have all those buildings on hand. Now, if you struggle with this day, just get your 7.2, right? Because sometimes we got to push, sometimes we got to save, but on this particular day, since it can be hard, and everybody has it hard, right? Everybody across all the servers have a difficult time with base expansion because it requires that you save up for a week. So everybody's going to struggle. So if you are struggling, get your 7.2 and then save. I have a bunch of buildings saved here. You can see I have buildings to pop. Look at those. And I didn't use them up this week, and I'm saving them if I need them for the total mobilization day when I can, click on a building to use it. I generally try not to do that, but if I were to struggle on that particular day, I could use them there. But mostly I'm saving them for the next week, so that if I have to, so first I get to the 7.2, and if I have to push, I have more buildings to pop and more things to use. But I want to make sure that I have buildings being built. I don't really like my builders to be idle. I want them to be building. And of course, along with that, make sure that you are using the title so that you reduce the amount of time that it takes to build. So you can have all of these guys building. The time is reduced. You're not spending speed ups, because again, the speed ups are just not going to be enough for this day. I've heard it over and over. I've used up all my speed ups and I didn't get my points because they just don't give you enough for this particular day. You want to have things cooking. The longer they cook too, like for example, I have the missile center being upgraded. The more points I'm going to get for it once I finish popping it. Okay. So I want to have a variety and a range of things that are going to, when they're going to complete. Some take, I'll have one that will take 2 days, another one that will take, the missile center was like almost 20 days, I think, or something like that. So it has all this huge range, so that I have something to throw speed ups at. I have something to actually complete. But I did this starting on day 2 of last week. Okay. I didn't start on Sunday. I didn't start Monday night. I started way back last week so that I had buildings. And then if I have extra, I save them for next week or for when I actually need the points. Okay. So base expansion is all about pre-planning and saving and making sure when you get to this particular day, you have something to pop. All right. Hope this helps.